Hello and welcome to the first step to moving beyond loss. I'm Karen Chaston and it is so great to be here. I'm really excited about today because I don't normally come on at this time, and I just thought, do you know what? There's so many people that really do require the knowledge that I'm about to share with you today. I'm a great believer that everything I'm about to share with you, apart from my story, of course, is something that really would have been ideal for us to all have learnt when we were at school. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing a whole lot of stuff with you. I plan to be about 30 minutes, ask questions as I go along. I'll just get my comments up, say hello, let me know where you're from, and let's get started because it's really going to be a great adventure. As I share my screen, let me come more into the middle of that. And as I share my screen and assist you to be able to know the first step in moving beyond any kind of loss. And believe me, there is a lot of losses which we're about to share. So let's get started. Okay. Are you aware that hi Karen, nice to see you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Hi Lisa, nice to see you here, my beautiful book editor. How are you going? Okay, so are you aware that our constant life, we're on an infinite journey where we go from love to loss and then back to love again. Now, most of us know how to do love, but not many of us know how to do loss. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to know about it. We don't even know what to say when loss comes to visit us or someone else. And this is what I feel is my life's mission, is to help people to get comfortable with loss, to actually know how they can easily move beyond loss so they can get back to love. Because when we're loving life, let's face it, how great is it? We jump out of bed excited about what the day's about to bring for us. And we're just excited about all our relationships, our work, our financial freedom. Everything just flows when we're in love. Especially when we're in love with ourselves. Because when we can look in the mirror and go, hey, give ourselves the Fonzie salute, and we just know that we're about to have an amazing day. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, how you can easily get back to that love and then stay there until the next loss event comes into your life. And believe me, it is going to come back into your life, but that's okay, because when you know how to move beyond loss, it doesn't matter. You'll go down, but you won't go down for long. You certainly won't go and start avoiding life, which is what a lot of us tend to do, especially when we have something really traumatic. So I'm Karen Chaston, and I am a beyond loss expert. I have deep dived into loss. And the main reason why I deep dived into loss is because of this amazing little man. Well, he was 27, or I think he was around 25 actually when that photo was taken. A couple of years, probably taken around 2009. And that's Dan, that's my son. And Dan was an amazing man, but unfortunately in July 2011, my husband and I woke thinking that we were going to have a lazy Sunday at home. But within minutes, we were running out of the back door trying to wake Dan up, who was lying there literally at the back door in the fetal position, saliva coming out of his mouth. And we honestly thought he was just unconscious. But the paramedics very quickly arrived, and within seconds, they said those words that no mother, no parent ever wants to hear. I'm sorry, madam, he is dead. Probably has been for several hours. Now, as you can imagine, that was a huge shock. The last thing I expected. You know, I'm the mother of 3 boys and 1 girl, and that's the last thing I ever expected, was to find one of them at our back door had passed away. And it was horrific. But what did I do? What would you have done? What would you do if something similar happened to you? And believe me, I honestly would never wish that for anyone, because it is a mother's worst nightmare. It's a parent's worst nightmare, because we all expect to pass before our children. We all expect to pass in the order of our birth. But have you ever looked at your birth certificate? There is no expiry date on your birth certificate. And that's the thing that most of us don't really get. We honestly think that we have time, that we can do it later, we can put it off to tomorrow or next year. And if there's anything about the pandemic, of the 2020 pandemic, has taught us, there is no putting anything off, because you're not really guaranteed that you'll be able to do what you can do today. Let's face it, none of us thought that we would be shut down and not being able to internationally fly and all of those sort of things. So let's have a look at how I can assist you to be able to move beyond any kind of loss, not just the death of a loved one. There is so many more. So when Dan passed in 2011, I was a CFO of a publicly listed company. Yes, completely different to what I am doing now. And this is what I looked like, okay? Completely different to what I look like. That's my 2007 passport photo. Now, let's have a look at that. Sure, I'm carrying more weight. I'm full of adrenaline. I'm full of cortisol. I went to have my passport photo taken. And as you can clearly see, I didn't even have my lipstick on properly. And if you look at my eyes, it seriously looks like Karen has left the building. And I didn't even realize how diseased I was. And to be quite honest, now in hindsight, I had lost me. In my corporate life of running for the job and going for all of these things, I lost me along the way. And if you look around any corporate office, any workplace, you can see many women who look like me in that photo. You can see that we're carrying more weight. We've sort of disconnected. Like, the eyes are the heart to the soul. I look blank. It really does look like Elvis has left the building, except it's Karen has left the building. And that's what I did. I returned straight back to work after Dan's passing, and I worked more. I drank more. I ate more. And then the universe had to say to me, hey, Karen, you were meant to wake up when Dan passed. So we're going to throw you another loss event. And that came about 15 months after Dan passed, in the form of me having to choose whether I went with the new company that my company was merging with, not a CFO, but doing everything you're doing now plus more, as they delightfully said to me, for less money, for 2/3 of my current salary. And even though I was disconnected to me, I actually had enough sense to know that if I stayed there, it was going to kill me. It was going to eat me from the inside out, because I was at an age where I was in my mid-50s thinking, I'm not going to work my hiney off for anyone else to get the credit and to get the salary. I've done that for way too long. And that's why I really easily took redundancy. And that's when I started on this journey that I love to call the journey to become my own best friend. Isn't it exciting? And it's just so amazing when you start to be on a journey to become your own best friend. And that's what this really is all about today, is to help you to actually do that. Because you think about the way you treat your best friend. You're always there for her. You talk to her nicely. Sure, you may be stern and honest, but you probably talk to her a lot better than you talk to yourself. You look after her. You make sure you have fun times together. You make sure that you really look after yourself. And it's really important. Oh, good. It looks like I've lost my camera. Okay, well, we're going to keep going anyway. Can you just let me know that you can still hear me? Hopefully you can still hear me. Let's see, I can bring me back, hopefully. No. Oh, yep, I'm back. Okay, that's cool. I can bring me back. but it looks like I have moved for some reason. Okay, let me come in. Okay, I'm back. Cool. Hopefully you can still hear me. Oh, good. Thanks, Tash, for letting me know, and welcome. Okay, so this, I am really happy to say, is my 2017 passport photo. Not that I need a passport photo at the moment. Great. So as you can see, huge differences in my passport photo. And that's what happens when you go on that journey to becoming your own best friend. And along that way, I got healthier. I started to look after me. I started to put me first. I started to say no to anything that was, if I say yes to you and I say no to me, I said no. It was that simple. And that's what this is all about, really helping you to be able to know that you really can live and love your life. And that's what I'm going to really show you what to do. Let me just get my camera right. Okay. Thank you, Danielle. And it is so different, but I'm not here just for compliments. I'm here to help you guys to move beyond loss. So let's get started. Okay, so in my journey from becoming my own best friend, I became a life coach. And I decided to eventually along the way, initially I was helping women to rise as women in the corporate space, but then I was so drawn to help people to move beyond loss because I'd always get compliments. Oh God, Karen, your son has passed, you know, this has happened and this has happened. And look at you, you're always so positive. Why are you so positive? So many people, you know, they lose a child and they go down and they never come back up. Or they never really live and love their life the way that you really are embracing life. And that's why I decided that I was going to really start to deep dive into loss, because as a CFO, I knew I would always look at a problem. I would say, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be an easy way. There's got to be not so time consuming. There's got to be something. And that was the way my brain worked. And that's what I did about loss. I deep dived into it and I thought, you know what? There's over 40 different loss events that can affect our lives, and I'm going to show them to you now. I'll go full screen on this so you can really deep dive into them while I'm talking. And when you deep dive into them and you go, there's 40 different loss events that can affect our lives, but none of us really know how to move beyond loss. This is quite unusual, isn't it? That we're all going to have multiple major losses throughout our lives. And sure, most of us think loss is a death of a loved one, but it's so much more. It's a marriage breakdown, a partnership breakdown, job loss, your health, your wealth, your pets. And if we go to the 2020 pandemic, there were also things like loss of freedom, loss of choice, loss of status, change in work conditions, change in recreational activities, change in social activities. Have a look at that list. I've done this before, and I had one lady say to me, I've got 21 of them and I'm only 40. So loss is going to come to us multiple times. And that's why I started off by saying we're on a constant journey of going from love to loss and then back to love again. So when we understand that, we can go, okay, how can I easily get from loss, this scenario, and get back to love? And that's what we're going to discuss today. And that's why I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. Okay, so why do we suffer so much? It's really important for us to understand, why do we suffer so much? And there's a few reasons. There's not just one. Okay, so there's three aspects to every relationship. First, there's a physical. Now, this is the way we hang out together, the things we do, the things we say, the way we touch each other, okay? That's a physical aspect of a relationship. The second is the emotional. Now, the emotional part of every relationship, and remember, there's only ever two people in a relationship, right? Sure, there may be more people in your family, but it's a one-to-one relationship. You'll have a different relationship with your, say, your wife or your husband than you will with your children. And each of your children, you'll have a different relationship. Same with all your work colleagues. You know, how often have you heard, oh, I don't like that person? You go, I actually get on really well with them. I don't know what the issue is. It's because it's a one-to-one relationship. So the emotional part of the relationship is all encompassing of all of your feelings, the good, the bad, the glad, and the sad. And let's face it, if you're in a relationship, it is going to be up and down. It's not going to be just smooth sailing. And it's important for us to understand that, because let's have a look. I'll just bring it over here for a sec. Let's have a look if it was all just one straight line. It'd be boring. Let's go back to Adam and Eve. They had to eat that apple because they were bored. Everything was exactly the same. But seriously, though, if you look at a relationship and you know that it goes up and down and up and down, if you bring that back to the heart monitor, right, the emotional side, which is your heart, and if you bring it back to a heart monitor, it goes up and down. And if it didn't go up and down, it's a straight line. And we know that a straight line on a heart monitor means that you're dead. Well, it's the same thing in a relationship. It's really important for us to understand that the ups and downs of the relationship is what it's about. It's about us learning from the downs and appreciating the ups, and smooth sailing it so there's not such a huge velocity, but bringing it in so it's actually just a nice little line. I'm sure that makes sense. Okay, and then the third part of the aspect of the relationship is the spiritual. Now, this is the intangible. This is what we know that we're connected. We don't know why we're so connected to this person, place, or thing, but we just know that we have this spiritual connection. And a spiritual connection means that it goes beyond this realm. There is more to it than just this realm. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because when you have spirituality in your life, you have more meaning, you have more depth, you have a greater understanding that you are here for a reason and that you are here to learn and grow. And it's through both the ups and the downs that we learn and grow. There's a lesson, there's a gift in every single up and down if you choose to find it. Another reason why we find it so hard and so painful when loss comes into our life is because of this emotional relationship. Now, it's the emotional relationship that causes us all of the grieving and suffering. And the whole idea is for you to deep dive into that emotional relationship, but it's painful. And not many of us know how to do that. So we go into all of these other tactics, which I'm going to explain to you in a sec, and it's not good. But the whole idea is that for you to eventually to have a healthy emotional relationship in regards to the loss, in regards to that relationship, whether they're in this realm or not, or if they're in another realm, because at the end of the day, it's only the physical relationship that has ended. The emotional and the spiritual will live on forever. Okay. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Alicia. Thanks for saying that. I'm so glad. Okay. So what causes your pain? So this is what I call the unconscious mind loss loop. Okay. And what it is that when the loss event happens, right? Death of a loved one, a divorce, a job loss, any of those 40 plus loss events, our unconscious mind goes into this unconscious mind loss loop, and it goes through the relationship. Now, our unconscious mind remembers every millisecond of our life. So it remembers every millisecond, every interaction that we've had in this relationship. Now, this relationship could be for your whole entire life if it was your parents or an older sibling. So it just depends on the length of the relationship, but it remembers every single millisecond. And it will throw things up to say, oh, you need to heal this. You said this and you didn't mean to, so heal this. You did this or they did this. So it's all about, it's throwing you up all of these memories for you to heal, for you to remember, to learn and grow from, so that when you have another relationship with someone else that's maybe similar, you know not to be that person or be bigger than that. But because it's unconscious, we don't understand it. So it throws up an emotion for you, and it could be anger or shame, or it could be blame. It could be all of these different emotions that it throws up to us. But we don't understand what it's like because we haven't deep dived into our emotions. Now, our emotions are energy in motion, emotion. Energy is E squared, right? So energy in motion. So they're meant to come up, you heal them, and it flows through your body. Then it may throw up another emotion. Heal this event, out you go. But because we don't understand this, we push our emotions down. We avoid them. We do whatever we can so that we don't have to feel them. But the funny thing is that when you see your emotions as your friends, you feel them for not so long, because you're going to have them come up. You're going to deep dive into them. You're going to see what it's about. You're going to heal. You're going to apologize. You're going to forgive. You're going to acknowledge. And then the emotion goes away because it's in motion. And that's the first reason why we suffer so much. The second reason is because we have these beliefs. Now, these beliefs have been with us and passed down to us for centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries. And you've probably heard them from a very young age, and you've probably believed them yourself, but you've probably never deep dived into it because they're so common. So what happens is that we have beliefs like, just give it time, keep busy, suffer in silence, replace your loss, be strong for others and bring them along. You know, I can go tick, 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 tick when it comes to a lot of my loss events. And as I said, we're all going to have multiple major losses throughout our life. So it's really important that we understand this. And the next one is Kubler-Ross. Now, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross did this amazing study. She came up with the 5 stages of grief. But her study was showing us how we do loss. Her study wasn't showing us this is the way to do loss. And unfortunately, most people are using this as a Bible. This is my how to do loss and grief Bible. But it's no good for you because it keeps you in that loop. And the 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. Now, as she said, you're not going to go in order. You're going to go all over the place before you come to acceptance. And because many people see that as a Bible, they stay, oh, well, I'm in denial. Okay, I'm going to anger next. Yep, I'm fine. I'm doing it right. But when you understand the emotions, the unconscious mind loss loop, you can actually go through all of these quite quickly because you deep dive into the emotion. Okay, I'm in denial. What am I in denial about? Okay, what's this about? What am I angry about? I'm angry because they said this and they didn't do this and all that sort of stuff. Heal it, heal it, heal it. Okay, and that's the difference. Okay, but her study was amazing because that's exactly the way we've been doing it for years and years and years. And then we go into the avoidance loop because, as I said, it's so much easier to push our feelings down and just literally go, this is too hard. My life is over. What's the point of going on? I'm never going to love again. I can't live without them because they ran off with this younger woman or this older man or whatever it was. We go into this avoidance loop and saying all of these things which make it come true. But because we don't listen to what we say, and our beliefs become true, what we believe we receive. And we don't deep dive into the things that we say. And sometimes the things that we say aren't even our sayings. They're other people's sayings that have been thrown on us, as I said. And how do you do avoidance? Have you actually deep dived into how you do avoidance? Food, alcohol, drugs, anger, exercise to excess, work to excess, grieve alone, suffer in isolation, Netflix trilogy. Like, let's face it, we have created social media so that we can avoid our life. Over sex. and shopping to excess. It's called retail therapy. What have we done to ourselves? We have created a world of avoidance. Just look at the $1 trillion alcohol and pharmaceutical industries and look at the suicide rate. Why is it so high? Because we're all so friggin' good at avoidance. We don't want to do that deep dive into us. It's painful. Don't make me do it. But what we don't understand is it's painful for a lot less amount of time than if we go into avoidance. Because avoidance leads to disease, and it just flows then into every single area of our life. First of all, it might start off that we're not going to work as much as we were. And then all of a sudden, we're not as financially sound as we were. Our health is suffering. All of our relationships are suffering. We've lost all of our friends. They don't want to hang around with us anymore. What's the point? All because we started in avoidance way back here. It could have been a little while ago, or it could have been a long time ago. Okay, and then of course we go into, can you still hear me? Because I can see I'm frozen and I'm having trouble with my internet. But okay, I'm back. Okay, so are you ready to stop suffering and grieving? That is the question for today, because that's what I'm about to share with you. Are you ready? Okay, Cindy, I lost my dad, my best friend, and my mentor on the 17th of February. Great to see you here, Cindy, because I can assist you with that. And my condolences for the passing of your dad. I'm sure he's with you. I'm sure he's guided you to be here with us today. And just feel into it, because I know that he is with you. And I am sure that if you close your eyes and take a really, really conscious, deep, loving breath, you will be able to feel him as well, because he's with you. And no one on the other side wants you to suffer. No one on the other side wants you to stop living your life, to stop loving your life. They have gone from this realm where we have a lot of density into a realm where there's unconditional love. So of course they want the best for you. They're in a scenario where they're in unconditional love. They have the worries of this world have been lifted from them. They still love you. They love you even more than when they were in this realm. And they want you to achieve everything that you set out to achieve when you came down here this way. Yeah, I'm glad you can feel him. Okay. So imagine your life if you could stop suffering from your current loss. Had a healthy emotional relationship with whatever this loss event has been, and all of them. You could work through your past losses. You can know how to easily move before losses, assist your friends through loss, and create your better everyday life. Because that's what I do. I assist people to move beyond any kind of loss and create their better everyday life, because I assist them to do the deep dive, to do that emotional deep dive. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I'm going to say it is a lot easier than suffering in silence for a year, 5 years, 10 years for the rest of your life. Okay, just imagine yourself. You're old and you're sitting in your chair overlooking a beautiful lake or overlooking whatever part of nature that you love to relate with. I'm an air sign and I just love a lot of space around me, and that's why I probably chose that photo. So there you are, and you ask yourself that question: do I have any regrets? Did I allow myself to live again after loss? Because if you answer no to that, you're going to have a lot of regrets. There's no way. There's going to be so many things in all of your different areas of your life. And in the Chasten Center model, there are 12 areas of life that there are going to be so many things that you really wanted to achieve and you didn't, because you gave up on you. You put you last, and that's not good. You put this other relationship ahead of you and your life. Now, when I started on that journey to becoming my own best friend, I have to tell you, I had this great realization that, and it was sort of shocked me because I was like in my mid-50s, and it was, you are the only person you are going to spend your entire life with. So think about that for a sec. You're the only person you're going to spend your entire life with, right? So why are you giving up on your dreams? Why are you putting yourself last? Why are you allowing all of your relationships to be more important than what you are? Why have you given up on your hopes and dreams and aspirations? It's really important for you to just have that awareness that you are the only person you're going to spend your entire life with. You're the only one that you're with 24/7 every single week of your life. It's a big awakening, isn't it? So let's move on to the first step to moving beyond loss. As I said, we're on a constant journey from love to loss. But what if we make it that it's even? It doesn't matter if we're in love or loss. We're still learning and growing. We're still achieving all of our dreams. We're still moving beyond all of our loss, right? And we're achieving so much more because we've learned the lesson. We've had the realization. We've moved through that emotional turmoil to actually be able to go, do you know what? I want more for my life. And that's what I've done. And that's when we get into what I call the active loop. Now, the active loop is this amazing loop where you actually start to say, right, let's stop. Let's have a look at this life. Let's accept this. Let's really quickly figure out what this means for me now and what it means for me moving forward and how I can create that life that I've always dreamt about. And that's what the active loop is all about. And I have purposely called my Beyond Loss program the gift of loss. Now, a lot of people say to me, Karen, how can you say that? Your son passed away. How can you say that his passing was a gift? And it's not Dan's passing that was the gift. It's who I became because of his passing, after his passing. It's because I went looking for that better way to do loss. I went to know that he's with me all the time. Like, he's the co-founder of the Chaston Center. He's the one that has guided me. He's the one that's pushed me. He's literally said to me, right, Mum, you never listened to me when I was alive. You're listening to me now. We're going here and we're going there. You know, I have written 4 paperback books, 4 gratitude journals, about 10 to 20 ebooks. I am in the process of writing my 5th book, which is going to be called Demystifying Loss. And I have to say, I would never have done that. I was an accountant. I wasn't into writing before Dan passed away. I wasn't the speaker. I used to look at my bosses and go, wow, look at them out there. Look how great they are. They're standing there talking to all these people. There's no way I could do that. Well, look at me. Here I am. You've got to drag me off the stage now. And it's all because I allowed Dan's passing for me to find the gift in it. And that's what it is. Loss is about you. It's about assisting you on your life's journey, on your life path, on all the trials and the tribulations that you designed to have in this life. And they weren't designed for you to go down and to never come back. And for you to say things like, I'll never get over their loss. And I'm not saying that you have to get over it. You've just got to get over the pain of it. It's so beautiful to be able to talk about them, to feel them, to see them in photos without breaking down, without all of your friends being scared to mention their name. Whether they're in this room or they're not, You know, so many people are so bitter about their divorce that they stop living, so much so that their kids stop talking to them. That's not what life's about. Life's about having amazing relationships and being happy and fulfilled in all that you do. Let's move on. So the first step, this is Danielle, and she's an amazing person. I met Daniela last year, and she did what I did. When her husband passed away, she went straight back to work. And when I met her, it was 18 months after he'd passed away. And she said to me, Karen, I have had the busiest year of my life since my husband has passed away. I haven't stopped. I haven't earned so much money. I'm a business coach and I haven't earned so much money in a year that I have in this time. It's been unbelievable. But I have to tell you, I'm dying inside. I'm eating too much. I'm drinking too much. I'm crying too much. I just don't know what to do. I need your help, because if I keep going this way, I'm going to follow him. I'm going to be dead within a couple of years, because I just know that the way I'm doing it is wrong. And I said to her, Daniela, the first thing that everyone is meant to do in loss, and very few people do, is to stop. Now, everyone's going to go, I can't stop. I've got to keep going. Everyone keeps telling me, just keep busy, give it time, everything will be all right. And that's what I did. And that's what so many people do. Or they stop and then they don't get up. No, this stopping is different. This stopping is where you put all of your other areas of life on hold for a little while, and you take that conscious loving breath. You know the one where you deep dive into you and you breathe deep down into your belly, and you can feel the love and the intentions and the love of yourself and the love of the one who has passed, or the one who has moved on, who still loves you in their way. You can just feel it all coming into your body. And then as you exhale, you can feel all of the tension of what you've been through being released every time you exhale. So when you do this conscious loving breath, you also start to feel into the emotions that you're feeling, and you also start to ask yourself some amazing questions. And that's what life's about. You know, the quality of your life will always come down to the quality of your questions. Because for every question, there is an answer waiting to be given. And for every answer, there's an action step waiting to be taken. And for every action step, you move one step closer and closer and closer to the life that you can live and love each and every day. So that's what the stopping is all about. It's about you asking yourself the questions. Questions like, what does this mean for me now in all areas of my life? Who will I be now? Who will I become now? What do I want to do in the future? How do I get there? What do I need to learn and grow to be able to get there? To be able to live that life that I've always wanted to live and love. How can I do that? That's the question that we all need to ask ourselves. Because when we do, we end up finding out just what's important for us. We very quickly can then move into the second one, which I'm not going to go into the other 5 steps at the moment, but you really do start to design that life because you've taken the time to stop You've taken the time to feel, to deep dive into your heart, to know that your life is your design. And no matter what life sends your way, you have a choice. You can go down and never come up, or you can grab it and you can move with it. You can learn from it. You can find the gift in it. Because when you find the gift, you are armed with so much more knowledge. You are ready to actually walk forward every day, taking those conscious, loving breaths, filling yourself up with all of the love, all of the joy, all of the fulfillment that we all desire in our life. And that's what stopping is all about. So as I said, it's completely different to the Kubler-Ross method, because you're not going to go into denial. You're not going to go into anger. You may, but if you do, you won't be there for very long, because you understand that you're stopping, you're finding the emotions, you're deep diving into yourself through every conscious, loving breath that you take. You are coming one step closer to those answers for the questions that you've been asking yourself. And a lot of the questions are, why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why didn't they do that? Why did they say that? Why didn't they say this? Why did they leave? And then you can start asking more meaningful questions. How can I create the life that I want to live for the next however long I'm going to be here? Because we're all spiritual beings having an earthly experience. And loss is just another part of our earthly experience. As I said, in the Chaston model, the area of life, it all starts with all about you. Then it's all about your relationships, all about your expertise, and all about your wealth creation. So often we get stuck in everything else except for the first one, which is all about you. You know, I got lost in my job. My relationship suffered. I was earning great money, but I was wasting most of it just to be able to get through the day because I was working so much. I wasn't looking after me. I was a total adage this is the way that where they say I spent my health to get my wealth, and now I'm spending my wealth to get back my health. But as we all know, it never comes back exactly the same. So are you starting to look after you? Are you putting you first? Because that is the question. Because no matter what loss has happened in your life, more than likely, if you answer that question honestly, out of the blame game, taking responsibility, more than likely you are not looking after yourself. And that's why I created the 5-step, the gift of loss process. The first step is to stop, and that's what we're discussing today. At other times, I'll discuss the next 4 steps. But for today, it's all about you knowing how to stop, because no one tells you to stop after your loss. A lot of people don't want to stop because they think if I stop, I'll never get up. That was what I thought. But it's wrong. It's the worst advice to keep going, to give it time. It's about stopping, but stopping and doing the conscious loving breath and deep diving into you, so that you can create a life where you stop suffering, have a healthy emotional relationship, work through all of your past loss events. There's over 40. We're all going to have a lot of them. Know how to move forward on your future ones. You're going to have multiple major losses throughout your whole life. Then you can assist your friends and family when you know how, because you will be the inspiration, because you've created your better everyday life after no matter what has happened. So, are you ready to revitalize your life? Because today I have a really special offer for you. This is amazing because it's all about you. It's all about you deep diving into you, to finding your identity again, to finding what it all means to you. I created a 45-day activity called Revitalize Your Life, which is each day into your own special area. You log in, you do the daily activity. It takes less than 45 minutes each day for 45 days so that you can connect back to you. Because let's face it, over life, we lose who we are. We chip away slowly, slowly, slowly. All of our relationships in all of our life take a little bit of me and takes me away, and I lose me and I don't know who I am. And I get to a stage when I lose this relationship, I'm lost. Loss of identity is one of the hugest loss events that most of us don't even realize is happening. And that's what this Revitalize Your Life is all about. 45 days of activities. And because I know how important it is for you to stop, I have made it $45 Australian. That's $1 a day Australian. If you're in America, it's like $35 America for these 45 days. If it is in the UK, it's like £30. It is $1 a day Australian. And I purposely have done this because I know how important it is for all of us to know how to do that first step in moving beyond loss. And this gives you, as it says, it gives you the clarity and the joy and the fulfillment. That's what this is about. Believe me, when you go through this process, 45 days, 6 weeks, you will be amazed at who you become at the end of the time. So I really am grateful for you being here today on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night if you're in Canada or the US. I really appreciate you giving up your time to be here with me. I would love for you to come on this 6-week journey with me. I had so much fun creating each day, designing what the topic was, then creating the videos and the PDF that goes with it so that you can actually really make a difference in your life. You don't have to do it every day. It's 45 days. Ideally, if you would like the results, do one a day. You can find 45 minutes every day. Believe me, I have never looked at anyone's calendar and not found 10 hours. So that's why I highly recommend that you take the first step in stopping, no matter what your loss event has been. And as we said, there was over 45 of them. There's over 40 of them that will affect all of our lives. Some of them we don't even realize. Some of them we don't even realize is a grief-causing situation. We sit back and we go, why do I feel the way I do? I don't understand it. And that's what it's about. So if you have any questions, please ask me now because I am about to end this broadcast. I thank you all for being here. I thank you for Cindy. Thank you. I've posted the link in the comments as well as it's on the screen. I honor you and I thank you for being here. But more importantly, please take the time to stop. Understand that your emotions are your friend. They are coming to you to assist you to heal. And the more that you deep dive into them, the easier it will be for you to heal, to receive the gift, to receive the lessons. And when you've received them, you become a different person because there's no need for you to be that person because you've learnt your lesson and you've grown. Not only emotionally, you've grown physically, you have grown spiritually, and all of your relationships will improve from going through this process. So I can't see any more questions. I'll just double check to see if there was anything else. Tash, I worry about my 18-year-old and scared sometimes to walk into his room. Tash, reach out to me if you're still on and we can have a conversation about that. And thank you for letting me know. Fantastic, Alicia. Yeah, everything I'm saying, I'm so glad. Fabulous, Barbara. Sounds good. Cindy, I've spoke to you. Okay. Rightio, everyone. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Great to see you here. Love your feedback. Any comments, just put them in the broadcast. I am going now. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing Saturday, Sunday, wherever you are in the world. And always remember that you are the only person that you are going to spend your entire life with. So now is the time for you to heal from all of your losses and to be able to create your better everyday life. Bye for now.